Hello and thank you for joining me. We are actually continuing our series in the decorative mask technical tutorial, and this was the little speeded up video I made on Take It Out Tuesday, and I'm going to show you how to make it today. So the decorative mask can be found on page 146 of the catalogue. And it's number 4, that's the decorative mask, and I'm going to be using this one today. And we're also using the sponge brayer, and with the sponge brayer there comes 2 handles and 4 sponges. So we're going to actually be making our own DSP, which is quite nice. So putting that aside, and I'm going to get my piece of card that is going to be then mounted onto my card stock. So this is going to be what is going to be decorated, and the colours I'm going to use are cherry cobbler, real red, and another one, which there it is, calypso coral. These 3, as you can see, it goes everywhere. So I'm going to start off with the darkest. So we're going to get our sponge brayer, which I have already used, and then I'm going to get my colour onto the brayer. Now don't do this because you're just getting it onto one area, and then when you go like that, it's just not going to be even. So you need to move your whole sponge brayer right round and keep getting the red on, and then holding it still, build up your colour from one end, and you're going to get from dark to light. So again, get more colour, and then it's going to be more redder on one side. I think that's enough of that one. Then the real red, take some of the other one off, and then do exactly the same. That's it. And then the lighter colour last, I'm going to take as much as I can off and get onto the lighter colour. That's it. Put that to one side. And then I'm going to get my decorative mask. Now I want the dark, this pattern appears to be going upwards like that, so I'm going to mount it like that. Make sure I'm trying to get it as straight as possible. This is basic grey. Again, same sort of thing, getting the colour onto your brayer. And then this is just a uniform colour, it's not going to be light to dark. I'm just going to get the pattern effect that I want. You just have to remember to keep the mask as still as possible, and sometimes the best way is to actually stick it down. I haven't stuck it just so that for speed, just to show you, but you might want to do that. That's fine. It's just trying to keep it as still as you can. And then when you're happy with it, you can take it off and see the lovely pattern that you've got. Right, pop that to one side, and there we go. So you've created your own DSP. I'm going to then move this onto the other side so we don't get distracted with that red. Right, so then the next step is to do our embossing, and that's what I'm going to do here. I'm going to take my embossing buddy, get the dust off here, and then Versamark. This is just saying hello from the Tasteful Touches stamp set. And then Versamark is like a sticky, gluey thing. You pop this on there, stamp it down, and then get your white embossing powder, pop it on. It's going to take this, put it away, and then take the excess off, pour the rest back, and then what I am going to do is take a little brush and get all the bits that I don't really want on. Don't try not to blow it too much because you'll get the embossing powder off your actual writing. It's best to just use a little brush, and then get your embossing tool. You'll see the colour changing. There we go. That's done. Now with this, I'm going to cut it out. So I'm going to fussy cut, which I think I've showed some of you before. And you are basically getting a little border, little black border around there. You're turning the paper, that bit's getting in the way, it's easier to have a smaller piece. You're turning the paper and not the scissors. Nice to just have a little border of black or white, whatever your colour you're cutting. And the scissors are really important. These are snips that are from the catalogue. It's got a nice pointy edge for when you're doing some detail and you want to get right into the centre of a flower, say, because there are some scissors that are just rounded at the end, and it's just, they don't get right to the centre or right to the end of something, and it's very difficult. And that's it. When you're happy with it, I've already cut out, these are 2 die cuts I've cut out, and I'm going to stick together. This is quite a nice card for a man. Could be for a man or a woman. It's quite nice to have in your your little stash at home, cards for men, because it's just good for you to have, really. I always think it's in an emergency, it's nice to have something like that. Right. I need some little tiny bits. Just putting some sticky dimensionals on. Giving it some dimension, because otherwise everything's going to be sort of flat. So that is going to be mounted onto here. And then that, where you're happy with it. Then I've got this lovely square little doilies, which I think are lovely, out of vellum. You have to be careful with your doily, because obviously wherever you tend to put it, it's glue is going to see through. So the easiest thing to do is put it onto something that you're going to cover up with, the area that you're going to cover up. So that's why I'm putting it in the middle. So then I'm going to put that on. Then that's the card base. I'm going to mount it onto the card base with my Tombow. You could, if you wanted to, you could actually mount this onto a black or a grey, this card, to really make it even better, to be honest, but I'm just doing this for you today so you can see the decorative masking and the brayer, really. And then I've got these lovely wooden elements, and I broke this one, but I'm still going to use it. So it gives it a little bit of sort of texture, a little bit of glue, stick it on, and this one that I broke. And because these are raised behind dimensions, you can actually tuck it in. Tiny bits of glue, that one there. And then this is some twine that's come from the Playful Pets trim combo pack, and you get a lovely red ribbon, and you get this one, which I really love. So little bow. Cut that off, and how I'm going to do this is mount it onto a glue dot. Screw it up a bit in your fingers, you don't see it too much, and then when you're happy, mount it. And then we've got these lovely epoxy, frosted and clear epoxy droplets, and they actually just look like water droplets. They're absolutely lovely. So I'm going to use these ones, and it just finishes off nicely, randomly around the place. And that is it. Take that away. And you've got